Okay, this video I'm going to show you how to complete the first task, the first exercise using Google Sheets specifically, and doing that with Google Classroom. So here I've got Year 8 computing lesson, and you can see that I've got one assignment here. So when I go into it, I've got the option to add or create files here. Okay, so here's telling me what I've got to do. Complete the first exercise on my website and hand in all the files at the end on Google Classroom. Here's the website, and it says you will have four PDF files to hand in. Okay, so supposedly you don't have to hand in the actual spreadsheet, but just other files, right? So you can either the best way to do this is just to go to your email or from up here and just go to Sheets. So we'll open up Sheets and then open up my website, and you will get this document. So if you open up that document fully, right, so this is on exercise 1. Now remember, when you get to the website, here's the website link to my website, and then you will see on my website that you get it's this page. You scroll down to exercise 1. Okay. Right, so you get the file open, and it says for you to create this data model down below. Okay, so you've got to create these and this set of information here. And then further down, it actually does tell you to put all this information in, so you could do that first and then watch the rest of my video. So I've already got this done. So what you want to do is pause it and do that, and then come back and watch the rest of the video. I'm going to continue on now. So if you're going to put all this information in, do that, pause the video and get sorted with all of that, and then come back to me. Okay, so the other things that you may not have noticed that you can do is that you can see you can put stuff in boxes and format it. So I can select cells and just put bold, for example, up here. So you may have wanted to do that. The other thing is that I selected these 6 cells and put a frame around it, sort of like a border. Okay, and I did the same with these ones here. Right, we're going to quickly go on to looking at a question. It says, in the cutting options table, name the range of cells. So here's our cutting options table. It says, name the range of cells that which hold the data from GEMcut and cutting cost. Give this range the name cut. Okay, so these are this is the data, because we've got GEMcut and cutting cost, and that's what this is the data. Okay, so what we're going to do is then go to data, named ranges, and give it a name range. So the name range was cut, so we just call it cut, and you can see it's B2 to C3, so that is this cell all the way down to this cell. Right, so say okay, done on that. I can close that over. Right, so that's that done. Number 3, in the main table in the cell under cut cost. Okay, so cut cost is right here. Enter a formula using lookup. Okay, so you haven't done a lookup yet, so we're going to do that now. This formula looks up the cutting cost in the cutting options, right? So it looks up these options using the GEMcut, so using this GEMcut, and then divides this by the caret. Right? So there's the caret. So we'll do that later on, okay, the divide bit. First of all, we just want to do this lookup. Now, when you do a lookup, you've got 2 different types of lookup. You've got VLOOKUP to look up values and return other values vertically, or you can do it horizontally across. Now, this one's horizontal because we want to look up these something from here and return this. So we're essentially what we want to do is if this is equal to facet, then it returns the number 10. And if it's equal to this one, it returns the number 5. That's what we want to do in cut cost here. So we do equals h lookup like this. Open the brackets. And when you open the brackets, then you're going to say the GEMcut. This is the cell on this row that you want to look up, comma, and now we want to look up this table. Right, now we named that table called cut, so we can use cut. Okay, now what that does, that makes that an absolute reference. So this this cell here, C6, is relative reference, and this is absolute referencing, because this won't change when we pull this down to copy other cells. Okay, so that's something that you'll have to think about later on. Okay, now I'm going to, after that, I've got to then do another comma, and I want to say the index of which one I want to return. So I want to return, this is the first one, this first row, and this is the second row. So I want to look up this and find it, and then return the item from the second row. So that's 2, and then close the brackets and enter. And there you go, it says 10, so that's right. So this equals 10, and they're getting that returned to us. Okay, now I haven't got my values in here, so I'm going to just put values here quickly. So 31.5, 12, 862, 357, 26, 30, 286, 100, 151, and 11. Okay, now you notice that these are coming in just like that, and they're not like that in the table. So what you can do is you can change the decimal points like that, just up there. We might be changing all of these to currency at some point anyway. So back to cut cost. So there is our formula for this. Now it does say on this question that we need to change that to, well, divide that value by the caret. So at the end of this, we're just going to put /, which is the divide, that's the divide sign here, and it was the caret, so this one, and enter. Right, so that gives us that number. Okay, so now what you can do is drag this down. So you can do that, you can drag it down, or you can just double click that little blue kind of square there, and it will automatically filter them all down for you. Okay, and so that is the number 3 done. In number 4, in the cell under insurance, enter a formula to calculate the insurance cost. Okay, so under insurance, and it's if the precious data, okay, so equals, and this is our if statements. So this is selection, like you've done in programming. Okay, so what programming have you been doing? Well, you've done Scratch programming, and you've used if before. Okay, but this is just a little bit different the way we're using this here. So if the precious data is P, so if it's equal to P, so precious data, where's that? Over here. So if that one is equal to, so you do an equal sign, and if it's equal to P, so we have to do in quotes P like that. If it's equal to P, then comma. So if B6, that cell there, is equal to P, what do we want to do? We want to calculate caret, which is this one, right? So D6, multiply it by 250, so multiply by 2.5. And then if it's not, so if precious data is not P, so all we have to do is do a comma, because this basically is the true value, and this will be the false value after the comma. Okay, so you can do it up here as well if you find it more comfortable doing it up in your formula bar. And I'm just going to then do caret again times, and it was 150. Then I close the brackets and enter. Right, so get that number, and that's perfect, right? So pull that down, so it's all the way down to the bottom. You'll obviously need to check these answers and just make sure that you've done these formulas correct at some point. Okay, total value, that's probably the next one, number 5, in the cell under total value, enter formula which multiplies the carets. Okay, so multiply, so equals, multiplies the caret, so there's caret, by caret value, so multiply by caret value, and adds plus cut cost, there you go, cut cost, and insurance plus insurance. Now, in the formula, you notice that I haven't used brackets for any of this because you don't need to, okay? These two get done first because it's multiplication, so those two will be multiplied. The answer of that will then be added to the answer of these, okay? So if I just press enter on that, that's giving me that answer. Bringing that down, and I'm getting all of these. Okay, so now number 6, format the cells in the caret value, cut cost, all of these, insurance and total value. And it says by the $sign, but before at the start it said euro. Okay, so we'll do that to euro. Right, so to 2 decimal places. Right, so where do I do that? Well, here I've got the pound sign. So that's not what I want. I want, and there's percentage. So these are just a few of the common ones you might want to use. So I want to go to more, and down here, I can say I've got euro here, but you might not have your euro. So if it doesn't show you this one, or it shows currency in pounds, go to more formats, more currencies, and then you can just pick the euro. You can scroll down and find it. There it is there, and apply to that, and there you have it. Right, so now I've got it, and I've done it to 2 decimal places, which is exactly what I want. Right, and then number 7, copy down all the formulas entered. So we've already done that. Essentially, that's copying them all down, all those formulas. So at least 12 rows of the data can be entered. Set the page orientation to landscape. Right, so landscape orientation, we will do that later. So number 8, think about that, but we will do that later. And then it says save the data model and print a copy of the sheet showing the formula used. Okay, so what we want to do is make a PDF of this spreadsheet. Okay, so the other thing we need to do is show the formulas. It says show the formulas used. So we did formulas here, here, and here, right? So we did 3 sets of formulas. So we want to show those. So how do we do it? We go to View and Show Formula. There you go, and you can see them. Now the problem is that you can't see them in full. So what you need to do is select these 3 cells that got the formulas in them, and then just in between, go up in between here and double click. No, that's not done it actually. So you want to stretch them out. Okay, so stretch them out so you can see them completely. All right, so make sure it's all the way and for all of them. Okay, so there you have it. So I can see the full formulas. And then what did we want to do? Make a document of this. So it said print it out, but we're not going to print it. We're going to make a document of it. So File, and you want to download it, and then say PDF document. And here's where you can see the landscape that you can pick. And fit to width is perfect, right? So that's that. And then what you want to do is then export that. So just export it. It'll download into your downloads folder. So mine's going to open straight up. There it is. But if I go to my downloads folder on my computer, I will see that sheet there. Okay, so I think it's this one. There it is there. Right. I'm going to delete that one, just keep this one, right? So this is the first one. So it's called, I've actually got it, the name, I've already named this sheet up here as Data Analysis Exercise 1. So you can do that up here. And I've also saved it in my computing folder, so you can see that. So you can go here. This is in your Google Drive. So in your Google Drive, you can make a folder called computing and then just put stuff in there. Otherwise, it'll get saved just generally in your Google Drive, and that's not what you want. Now, this file that I've downloaded, I want to actually just highlight what this is. So it's data analysis exercise 01, but it's not just sheet 1. I want to say that it's question. So I'm just going to put Q9. Right, so Q9. Right, then what I want to do is go to my Google Drive. Now that's something else that you'll want to do. So if I go, where is it? Well, I could actually just go straight to here and do it. I don't need to put it in the Google Drive, so I could just say add file. And this will be the first part of this exercise done. And I can select files from your device. Right. So I then just find it in my downloads folder. So it was called data analysis question 9. There it is. Send that, upload that. And then that will be uploaded as the first part of this question. Right, so the next thing I want to do is, right, so there it is, it's just uploading, and I've also got the choice to upload more files, so I do need to do more. So the next question was to enter the following data. Well, I've already done that. So then it says save this data and save a copy showing the values. Make sure that the contents of the cell are on a single page, printed page. Okay, so back to my spreadsheet. Instead of that, go to show for take off show formula, and then I can select these three cells and just make them smaller again, like that. I can make them a wee bit bigger maybe, just from each other, right, like they were before. And I've got to make a document of that now. So file, download again, PDF document. Just make sure all the data can be seen. So I'm going to keep it in landscape and then download that one. Okay, so it automatically opens my computer. So what I'm going to do is go to here, and that is this one now. Right, my downloads folder, right, so there it is. And I'm going to just change that to question, change the name of it to Q10. And then in the homework, in my work, just send another file. You could probably just select all your files and put them all up there at one go, but I'm just showing you individually how to do this, right? So upload that. Then I'm going to go back and do the next question, right? So number 12. Oh yeah, that was number 11 actually. So I should have called it number 11, but anyway. Number 12, produce a document showing only the rows. Right, so we're going to do a filter here. So show only the rows where total value is greater than 150. So what you need to do is select these cells, press up here on filter, and it says rows where total value, so here's the total value, is greater than, so that is a condition, greater than 150, right? So put in 150, and then scroll down, press OK on that, and there it is, right? Total value, and then precious is SP, right? So precious, you can basically, instead, you could do filter by condition. You could do this if you need to, and say text contains, or you could say text does exactly, and things like that. But you can obviously just untick one of these, right? So precious is SP, so untick that one, which is P, and then I've got that. Right, now what I need to do is produce a document again. So again, I'm going to produce another document. There it is, perfect. Export that. And there it is, open. Close it. Just go to my downloads folder. This one I'm going to call it, make sure I give it the right name this time. This one was Q12. Right, and then in my exercise, add that one. You can actually drag files as well, so I can show you this way where you can see here I've got there, just drag it in instead of having to select it several times. So that's another option that you can do that. And then it's come up there, upload that. Right, so now I've got all of these so far. And the last one, produce a document showing only the rows where the gem cut equals, right? So what I need to do is get rid of these filters. And I can see where the filters have been added onto here. So these ones are highlighted green. So this one, I will select all again because that just puts them back to all of them. And this one, I need to change the greater than and put it on to none. And then OK on that, right? So that brings everything back to normal. So produce a document showing only the rows where the gem cut, that is this one. So gem cut equals that one, right? So leave that one on. Okay, and insurance is less than 5, right? So condition again, and it's less than 5. Scroll down, press OK. And there we go, another document, last one finally. PDF document, and that is question 13, so export that. Downloading, going to open again as it always does on my computer. Go to my downloads folder and just find it, so you can put it in a list like this. So here it is, it's this top one that I've just downloaded today, and change that name to Q13 this time, right? So then all I need to do is then upload that one file, and I can drag it. So just showing you a couple of different ways that you can do this. Upload it. Now the other way you can do all of this, of course, is on your spreadsheet. What you can do is when you've downloaded these 4 files, if you don't want them on your computer or you think you might need them later, it might be worth going into your Google Drive. So I've got these 4 files. So I'll show you that in a second. So once these are done, it says, yeah, you will have 4 PDF files to hand in. There you go, 4 PDF files. And then I'm just going to hand it in. I could write a private message if I need to just to tell your teacher if there was any problems or you couldn't do any of these bits for some reason. Just put a wee message in there, and I'm going to just hand it in. Let's tell me which ones I'm handing in. There you go, done. And that is the work for the lesson complete. Now, as I said, what you can also do is just have a look at your Google Drive, and you could have uploaded them to Google Drive, and then from Google Drive you said when you did this add here, you could have done it that way too. So to get to your Google Drive, you just go to where you have your apps up here, and you can upload all of your stuff into your Google Drive. Now, as I say, when you're using this, you're best keeping it organized, just like you would with your USB or a folder in school where you have these folders for your work. So here you can see you've got I've got a computing folder, right? So if I go into that, I could actually just upload, and I've actually already, as you can see, got this data analysis, which is the spreadsheet that I was working on. So I can then select all 4 of these and just drag them in there, those PDFs, and that's that work for that lesson. So can you imagine for some reason it wasn't uploaded properly when you were handing it in, right? Although you can see it's been submitted here. If for some reason it wasn't, well, at least you've got the files on Google Drive as well, even if you've lost them on your computer. So now that I've uploaded them here on Google Drive, I probably don't need them in my downloads folder anymore, but I could leave them there just in case I need them in the future. Okay, so that's how these exercises will work. We'll probably do 1 or 2 more before I then give you a couple of ones to try by yourself. But they will all be posted, as I say, within Google Classroom, and that's where you hand them in. But you will see the exercises in here as a PDF document on my website.